Hello everyone, it's Stacy in Japan, and I'm going to talk with you today about having a roommate or roommates in Japan. Is this for you? Will this work out for you? And I had an experience, of having roommates in Japan. It was a brief experience, but an experience nonetheless, and it served to remind me of the type of person that I am. And, I thought it would be good to share just some things that I learned about myself, and I hope through sharing that somebody else who may be considering having a roommate will think carefully about this decision before they make it. Not that having roommates is bad, but is it good for you? Okay, just like with any other relationship, compatibility is extremely important, and of course, there are varying factors that will determine whether or not you're compatible with someone. And then there are the other things, like in Jamaica, we say, see me and live with me are two different things. Meaning, you can see me, and then when you live with me, it's a totally different experience. And that may have been partly what I experienced. But I won't divulge my experiences in any detail. Just know that the situation that led to me even deciding to get roommates was I was placed in a really rural area. Well, not so much rural as my previous, place of abode, but like I had said to myself, I do not want to be in another country area. It's too remote. Nobody speaks English, and it's very difficult being in that kind of situation in Japan, even though I'm a loner. Yeah, so that's one of the first things about me. I do enjoy my own company quite a bit, but even in that situation, I want to have the option to choose having company companionship. Okay, yeah. Girl, y'all should know I do not edit my videos. I ain't got time for that. Right. So the opportunity came where, and the thing is, I was planning on moving from my little village, my inaka. I was planning on moving, just getting somewhere more comfortable for me, more accessible and stuff. And I never thought of roommates. It was never my thing. So I never thought about it. So when the opportunity was presented, I still didn't give it much thought, because I know I wanted to move. I knew I planned to move, and the location where the person was just fabulous, and so on. And there was a little bit of miscommunication along the way that kind of really led to me making my decision to moving. And when I did find out that the information wasn't as I thought, I still pursued it, and that's where I should not have continued the pursuit and moved and so on. But it was a learning experience for me, and I have grown from it. I've been made stronger by it. It was 2 months. It was very intense, those 2 months, because a lot of changes took place along the same time that I moved. I started working a second job, or rather a third job. Can I tell you? And so, it was just very hectic. It was very hectic living out of boxes, and for those 2 months, it was very difficult. But through it all, I learned to lead more on God. I learned to trust Him and to depend on Him for strength from day to day, from day to night to night to day to morning. Trust me, it rough, but God saw me through. So before you take up yourself and say you're gonna have a roommate, what are some similarities that you have with the person or persons? What possible areas do you see will be conflicting? Will you be able to deal with it? Is it something that you can live with? Does someone work in the night? Does someone work in the day? What are the sleeping patterns like, and so on? What about sharing the space, the common areas? One of the things I failed to do, and you must know that it must have been really bad because I'm so into planning all the time and quite a logical thinker, is that I failed to establish a lot of things before I made my decision to move. I did ask a lot of questions, but it didn't, being unfamiliar with rooming situations, I wasn't quite sure of questions to ask. So that's another thing. If you don't know what questions to ask because it's going to be your first time getting a roommate, find out from someone who already has that experience, or just talk to a friend and ask them what they think. What kind of things can you live with? What kind of things can you live without, or do without rather? How are you? What will people be able to live with you? In just the same way, will they be able to live with you? Will you be able to live with them? It goes both ways. And communication is very important. In any kind of relationship, communication is important. And humility is also very important, right? So check all those things when you are making your decisions, right? Are you a Christian? Can you room with somebody who is not a Christian? All them little things there, they really add up. They really add up. Are you from the same background? I didn't think that was important at all. When you think about cultural differences, not Japanese alone, you have many foreigners here, and even from your own nationality, are you compatible with them? Are you from the same socioeconomic background? Will you be able to, live humbly, and, all them little kind of things there. But I'm beginning to ramble. So just check carefully, is having a roommate for you? Would somebody want you for their roommate? Think about these things before you make your decision. Until next time, it's bye from Stacy in Japan.